Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. We're back with more Sims 4 speed build, reworking the venues in Oasis Springs. This is their gym. I thought I had been to this place. Turns out I haven't. What did I do? Play in Willow Creek and stay in Willow Creek? Because I remember falling in love with Oasis Springs. Did I go to Willow Creek to work out? Or go to a library? I'm confused. But again, this is the second venue and I still do not recall any of this. However, in keeping with what I had said in my previous video, I like the build style, the architecture. I don't mind it. So I kept the shell and I reworked everything else. I think it turned out okay. I'm not unhappy with it. You guys might laugh at the color. And I will also mention too, there are technical issues, well, design issues, that I do tweak prior to putting them up on the gallery. So if you were interested in downloading it, some of those issues have been addressed, some have not. What I failed to mention in my last video, when I did talk about this, is that I'm a very presumptive person. I shouldn't be that way. I know that. But I always assume that even if you did download it from the gallery and use it, you would tweak it anyway. You would change what you didn't like and add what you did want. But that's no excuse for shoddy workmanship, which is how I see that. It's not intentional. It's like an oversight. And when you go back in and you're watching the tour video, even while you're making the tour video, you don't notice it until you sit back in editing and watch, and then you're like, why is that there? That's not lined up right. Wasn't I supposed to put something there? Well, now that looks off kilter. So, before I put it on the gallery, I usually go back in and fix those little annoyances. I also noticed in this world, every single lot is on like dirty, gross, unappealing sand. I didn't really address that until I got to the very end at the museum, but I think I reworked it so that it's a little more eye-pleasing. That's basically it for the build. I do hope you're enjoying these. I don't want to discuss Sims 4. What would you call those? Beefs? Issues? Arguments? While I was off trying to get my computer fixed, I spent a lot of time on YouTube watching mainly Sims 4 videos. And the fun ones were challenge videos and going into the lore. But there was a running theme, and I watched more than one creator making these types of videos. And they all seem to sing the same tune, which is, I wish it was more like The Sims 2. I wish it was more like The Sims 3. And while I can understand their point of view, what is a little upsetting, if you want to say that, or for me kind of terrifying, is that these are more influential people than I will ever dream of being. And I've noticed, especially with at least two, whatever they complain about, it seems to get worked into or worked out of the game. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, they seem to have that type of influence. And for me, it's a scary concept, because while their opinion may have some validity to it, That doesn't mean that 100% of the Sims community agree. And while there are issues that really should be addressed and aren't, those minor tweaks and adjustments are being looked into, and I just don't see the fairness in that. Now, as an example, and this is off the wall, non-related, but it just shows in general how people are. And this is just a fact of life. I was once in a building for a specific reason, and while I was waiting for what I needed to do, I was sitting in like a hallway. And across from that hallway was a big gym where a convention was going on. I couldn't tell you what type of a convention, but I think it was computer related. And the janitor of this school weekend venue place was right across from where I was sitting. And every few minutes, someone came out of that convention into his office complaining about the temperature in the room. It was too cold. It was too hot. It was too cold. It was too hot. At least, and this is an exaggeration because I was there for at least a half an hour, 15 people came in and out of that venue with the exact opposite opinion of the temperature of that room. Now, who are you going to believe? Was it too hot or was it too cold? No one came into his office and said, this is just right. No one. It was either too hot or it was too cold. Now, is he supposed to just stand there with his finger on the thermostat going, okay, well, I'll move it up. Okay, well, I'll move it down. Okay, well, I'll move it up. Was he supposed to do that? No. You live with what you've got in some instances. It isn't about you. It's about a community. And I get really nervous when people say, I wish that it had this. I wish it didn't do that. I wish there was more of this. I wish they had never done that. Because I might like those things. I might not like the suggestion. But my opinion doesn't seem to count. And if it's not a consensus, then it shouldn't even be addressed. That's my opinion on that. And that comes from having watched way too many videos over the past few days. But it was a little alarming to me because one creator in particular also, what do you call those? An EA something support, no? Influencer, EA influencer? Game changer. They were playing a particular game pack. And this was back in the day. And they had a series going, and it was very fun, very entertaining. But every single, and I'm not exaggerating again, every single issue that they complained about ended up getting addressed in that particular game pack. And I was startled. So the game pack, when I finally got to buy it, it wasn't EA's version, it was that influencer's version. And I feel somewhat cheated. I would have liked to have tried doing this. I wouldn't have minded having that. So that's just the way I feel on that particular subject. I hope you don't mind me doing this. I did say I was going to start being a little bit more upfront and personal with my viewers. This is another thing. I'm real quick here. Don't ask me why I blocked off the fountain. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you why I did that. But it's not that way on the gallery. So if you're interested, it's changed. But we're coming up on the end here. I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked the build. I appreciate your support. I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day as well. Bye-bye.